Hey guys, so BakerySwap is one of the most used distributed exchange on the Binance Smart Chain. As you can see here, it has a simple interface that allows you to swap from one coin to the other, and of course you can add liquidity to a pool. And we're just going to see how to clone the swap functionality. So in order to do that, we're going to go to the BakerySwap source code, which is you can see on GitHub, github.com/bakeryproject. And once you're there, we're going to go ahead to clone all the codes, clone the different repositories, and then we'll start customizing the code. So as you can see, there are four repos here under Bakery project, but we are going to be interested in the BakerySwap Periphery, BakerySwap Core, and BakerySwap Live. So if you don't have Git installed, you can go ahead to install it right now. So we just clone the project from BakerySwap. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this, and yeah, so I have a folder here, BakerySwap already. I'm just going to clone this repository. I mean, you can run your commands, but I like to use tortoise gates. Just quickly clone this. All right. So I've cloned the repos, and I'm just going to go ahead to open this in my Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we have three repositories here. Two, in fact, that we're interested in, the BakerySwap Core and the BakerySwap Periphery. Now, if you go through the BakerySwap Core project, you see the layout. The contracts we're interested in are in the contracts folder, as you can see here. So we have the BakerySwap BEP20, which is a BakerySwap, the LP tokens for the BakerySwap. And we have the Swap Factory, which is responsible for creating pairs and managing pairs on BakerySwap. So a pair is a pair of different coins that are swappable. So you can think of BNB with Moon token, Moon coin, or something. Then you have the BakerySwap pair, which is generated by the BakerySwap Factory. So, of course, if we are doing this not for an educational purpose, of course, you might have to change the name of the contract, but I'm going to leave the name of the contract. So we just go ahead and do the process. Now, apart from the BakerySwap Factory, you're also going to need the BakerySwap router, which is in the BakerySwap Periphery. And that's why we need that repo. So, yeah. Okay. So, so we are going to assume that, of course, you have Node installed, install Node version 12 and above. But in order to deploy the smart contracts to the network, to the Binance Smart Chain, testnet, we're going to use a tool called Truffle, which allows you to test this, test smart contracts and deploy them easily. If you don't have Truffle installed, go to trufflesuite.com. You can easily install Truffle by running npm install g truffle, which installs Truffle globally. So you can just run that. But I already have Truffle installed, so I'm going to skip that. So install Truffle globally, and So install Truffle globally. Now what we're going to do, we are not going to use these folders, but we're going to copy the codes from the contracts from these repos into the code of the new project that we're going to create. So let's call this the bakery core, BakerySwap core, no space, and then let's open this in the terminal. So go ahead to initialize this folder with a node project. Yeah. So once we do that, then we can go ahead to add to init Truffle into that same folder. Okay, so as you can see, we now have the contracts folder, the migrations folder, and the test folder under BakerySwap core. So we're going to go ahead to copy the code from the initial BakerySwap core and copy everything all over to the new folder. All right. Yeah. So we still have our contract here, and then Truffle. But there's still a couple of configurations we need to do with Truffle because before we can run this. So let's go to our Truffle config. We're going to use an HD wallet. Now, but the Binance Smart Chain, we're going to connect to the Binance Smart Chain testnet. So we need to create an account on the Binance Chain testnet, and we need to use the private keys as the owner of all the contracts that we're going to be running. So if we were trying this with Ganache on the Ethereum blockchain, you could have used Ganache as a local blockchain and all. But for now, if you have Metamask, you can add Binance Smart Chain testnet to your Metamask and then create a wallet through that and then copy over the private keys down here. So in order to use Truffle, you need to connect it to a wallet, and we're going to use the Truffle wallet, the HD wallet provider. So we're going to go ahead to install that. Then we're going to need a wallet on the Binance testnet. So if you have your wallet, any wallet at all, I'm going to create a wallet on MetaMask. I'm going to create a wallet on MetaMask. I have my MetaMask set up for Binance Smart Chain testnet. If you don't know how to do that, you just need to get the RPC of Binance Smart Chain testnet from the Binance Smart Chain website. Let me see here. Yeah. So yes, we have the RPC endpoint. You can always just go to your MetaMask, go to settings, go to networks, add and edit custom RPCs, and in this case you'll have chosen add network. You'll have named the network Binance Smart Chain testnet. You'll have added any of these testnet URLs, and the chain ID, which will be 97, the currency symbol, which will be BNB for the native currency of Binance Smart Chain, and then of course you can leave the block scan. Okay, 97, so you can see what's there. So currency symbol, block explorer, will have filled all that in, and it will have added the network so that MetaMask can now connect to Binance Chain Smartnet. I'm not going to do that because I've done that already. Then I have a new account here. You can create a new account by just scrolling down, by just coming to accounts and choosing create accounts. So I already have an account I created, and we're going to need that account funded. So you can look for the BNB testnet faucet. come here, put that, and choose give me BNB. Okay, so that will be funded. Yeah. So let's go back to our project here. So HD wallet provider already installed. Okay. So we need to get the private key that we just got of the account that we just created. And you can get the private key by coming here and choosing account details, export private key. You have to type in your Metamask password. I'll skip all this. So once you type in your Metamask password, you'll be able to see your private key. You copy that, then come here. You can create a provider based on the HD wallet provider. Then you can add your private keys, which is an array of private keys that you want to use. Then your provider URL. So I have the private key somewhere here. So ideally, this should not be in your Truffle config. You should save it somewhere in an env file or something. For the provider URL, I'm going to go back to the Binance Smart Chain RPCs. And I'm going to copy one of these RPC endpoints. All right. So we're set. So we have a way to tie a wallet to Truffle. And then one other thing we need to change is the network. So we need to add a network. So I'm just going to copy this. Call it Binance testnet. All we need to do is, of course, change the network ID and then set the provider here to a provider. And remove the ports. Yeah. Okay. One last thing, we need to change the version, the Solidity version, to the version of the contracts we're working with. So I'm just going to check that straight away. So I'm going to change that to 4.5, that's 16. Okay, I believe we're set. Yeah, so the provider is set. We have the wallet. So I'm going to come here and run my compile. Okay, so that failed. We need to make some changes to the contracts. Some contracts were imported and the library is not installed. So bakery project. The bakery project library is missing and we need to reference that. And that's why we have this repo, but we could as well just install directly from the Git repo. So I'm going to copy that and just do npm i. So you can install that from the GitHub registry directly. Okay, so we have that installed. So let's try to compile again. So the library contracts were separated because they are on another Solidity version, 0.60, and Truffle doesn't make it easy to work with different versions. So if you have smart contracts that belong to different Solidity versions, it's usually good to just separate them out into separate projects. And that's what BakerySwap and Uniswap consequently have done. All right, so that's compiled. So now that we've compiled our code, then we can go ahead to deploy it. Now I need to check out Truffle config and check the name of the Binance testnet. All right, so you deploy with Truffle. Okay, so that succeeded, and that's the initial migration. So yes, Truffle allows you to write migrations, which deploys your smart contracts, and of course allows you to reset it. So now that was just the migration file. So we are going to write the migrations for our real contracts now. So I'm going to come here, right, to deploy. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, come here, copy this. Okay, so I'm going to add two arguments here, which are injected by Truffle, and then addresses. Okay, so then let's go ahead to get our factory, so we can deploy our factory. And then we pass it addresses 0. Okay, so we need to make this an async function, so we can await this. And yeah, that's it. So we can come back here and do our Truffle migrate. This time around we'll reset, and then we'll pass it the network. So by using the reset keyword, it starts the migration all over again from the initial migrations, and then goes ahead. And that's it. Yes, our contract has been deployed. Can go to our BSC scan and see if yeah. So the factory contract has been deployed successfully.